So I've been wrong about Alien Earth. It's a great TV show, but the funny thing about that is the most interesting thing about the show it's not even the namesake of the show, the Xenomorph. It's actually the other alien creatures in the show. Let me explain. So I just watched episode 5, In Space, No One, ... And we know what the rest of that is. Best episode of the show by far. And it's so good that if they made a movie about this whole thing, this episode is basically that movie. Of course, if it was a movie, it could have been done, more cinematically. Funny enough, even though this is a TV show, more time would have been put, because it's like a 2-hour movie. This is like a 1-hour TV show episode. But if they would have done just that, even if they set the whole show just on this ship, this research ship, which would have been awesome because it would have been 8 hours at least if they did 8 episodes of this, the adventures of the ship, finding these other alien creatures, what happens. Actually, that would have been a really great show. Maybe they could do a spin-off or something, because I would love that show. Although we know what happens at the end of it, which is kind of a bummer, but they could have just made the entire show this research ship. If they made Alien Earth a movie, this research ship, this episode would have been that movie. And it would have been really interesting. And I think basically all the Alien fans would have been happy, because you get the Xenomorph ship action, the awesome production design, the cinematography, and then you get these other alien creatures that are in some ways even more interesting with the traits that they have. But we have episode 5 of Alien Earth instead. But the good thing about that is we get to see what happens with Morrow, which we saw a little bit in episode 1 of what happened on the ship, why it crashed, and some of his backstory. Because just watching episode 1 and up until this point, you might think, hey, maybe Morrow killed the crew and crashed the ship because of whatever reason. It just kind of seemed like it was him because he's kind of been portrayed that way. And this shows that no, actually he cared about, maybe not cared about the crew, but he cared about getting the ship there safely. Not really, he didn't want to kill the crew. He didn't really care about the crew, but he was just doing his job, so to speak. He didn't sabotage the ship. It would have been easier, if this didn't happen. So we learn that it wasn't him, it was somebody else, another crew member, the chief engineer, if I remember correctly, who was working with Prodigy. Major spoilers, by the way, sorry I didn't warn you. And he sabotaged the ship basically to just get more money, to deliver the creatures to Prodigy Corporation. And we know what happens with that. Goes bad, crashes, the creatures escape, and then the show at the end of the episode circles back to this is what happened. Morrow's back at Weyland-Yutani, and now he's on a mission to get back the creatures. Which, if I had really 2 criticisms about the show, one would be let me catch her name here. Of course I don't have it up now. The person who takes over the ship, who was acting captain, the woman, Zaitani or something. Oh my god, I had it up. I don't know what happened to it. She was absolutely horrible. I get her character was supposed to be, she wasn't ready for this. She's overwhelmed, but maybe she acted, a little bit of that, but her character had no presence. Every other character in this show, or this episode, because there's some other characters that have issues, I believe them. Like, they owned their role, whether they had 2 lines or no lines, no issues. But she just was like, stuck out like a sore thumb, which is the only reason, not to like pick on her as an actress, but she stuck out like a sore thumb. Just was miscast. Whoever cast her, deep mistake, because she was horrible. She didn't give a great acting performance, and especially her death was like, part of that was just choppiness in the directing and the writing maybe or something. But yeah, she was horrible, and her character did not even sell what she was supposed to be selling, because I get it. She was not supposed to be this super masculine, great Ripley character that we love. She's supposed to be kind of, overwhelmed and ill-equipped, not a good leader, whatever. But just her, not a good casting choice. Number 1 criticism. The other criticism is just some really great suspense moments. I love the creatures escaping and stuff like that. You know, when they planted the little baby creatures in the water, and you're like, oh no, who's gonna drink it? The eyeball creature, who, funny enough, like tries to warn the science or medical officer or whatever, or you know, probably wasn't like, hey, I'm a good creature, I'm trying to warn you. It's probably because it was thinking, because it's smart, that maybe it's not a great thing if she gets her blood sucked out by these creatures. So it was trying to warn her. So I thought that was kind of funny. Nice little touch. That creature itself battles the xenomorph, which is really cool, in a human body, and then tries to attach itself to it, but it has no eyes, so it can't do that. That was great. Love that moment. Again, I would have loved to see just that. These creatures, even take out the xenomorph. Like, I love whoever designed these creatures, bravo, because I love it. But it just felt uneven in a couple areas, and the ending was super choppy from like how great the rest of the show, this episode was. Only 2 criticisms. Other than that, best episode. I'm fully invested in the show. I wish the show was that in some respects, although I do like the concepts that are being introduced with the hybrids and the, you know, transferring the mind and the other corporations. That is interesting. I just haven't felt like it's been executed that great. But again, hopefully it gets better. So far, you know, 3, 4, and 5, each one's been better than the last. So episode 5 killed it. And I like the show now. I can officially say that. Thanks for watching Off the Couch. Yeah.